Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel. We'll look back at our final Premier League game of the 2021 season. What a great season it's been, and it's not over yet, is it? Absolutely fantastic. And I'm wearing this in little tribute to this guy here. That's one of my favourite haircuts of his. He did all Phil Foden yesterday, didn't he, with his haircut? I think it was a little bit of a tribute to Phil, I think, the style of his hair yesterday. But yeah, we're going to have a look at Manchester City 5, Everton 0, yeah, on the 23rd of May. 2021, 4 p.m. kickoff, our 38th and final Premier League game. Well, we got the trophy, didn't we? But I'm sure you've seen all that and looked at all that as well. So today we're going to have a little match analysis just to finish off, including Mr. Banerjee, of course. Check out his match report on Facebook. He has said he may be stopping them next season, so have a read of that. That'll cheer you up. He always does a great match report on his Facebook page, or some groups he's on Facebook, so check that out. We'll have our quirky stats, of course, to finish off this Premier League season. Brief look at Everton. Yeah, just a little thank you to Everton, I suppose, but brief look at Everton later, and a little bit more as we look back and little memories of yesterday, and player ratings, of course, with Mr. Brennan doing them. Yeah, I think that's the first time this season he's actually done them. He put the player ratings together. I give a 10 out of 10. I don't give 10 out of 10s, do I? Well, I have done this time, so there you go. But you probably know who that's going to be for anyway, don't you? Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. If you've got any City supporting friends, please tell them about me. That'd be great. Push them my way. I do lots of different, obviously, match reviews, match previews, history vlogs, quizzes, book clubs, all sorts of great stuff. I just did a Colin Bell one the other day. I love doing that. A little book club on Colin Bell. Fantastic. So please push that subscribe button, push that notification button. You'll also see some stuff on my film and TV channel as well. So we've got a little break from football. Obviously, football's ending very, very soon. We've got a big game to go, but yeah, just have a look at my film and TV stuff as well. I do information vlogs and reviews, etc, etc. Or if you know somebody who might be interested, please point them in my direction. And if you need any friends or followers on Facebook and Twitter, I continue to post loads of footy stuff on there, so you can follow me on there as well, or friend me on there. And I do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. And anything you need promoting, City fans, or if you've got a business that sells City stuff or whatever, or you just want a charity thing doing, just let us know, and I'll be doing my regular magazine vlogs during the summer as well. So give us a shout. Let me know. Direct message me, or check the links, or leave me a message somehow. There's lots of ways to get hold of me. Just do that for me as well, and I'll do that for you. Basically, if you've got anything you want people to know about, just let me know. And please, if you've no time to comment today, all comments are very welcome. Just give us a thumbs up, that'd be great. Right, let's get on with this, because I'll be here all day with this, won't we? 5 goals to go through and stuff like this. Right, the officials, yeah, I'm not going to say too much bad about the officials yesterday. Michael Oliver was a ref. Assistants is Lionel Stewart, Bert Simon Bennett. 4th official was Michael Salisbury. On VAR we had Darren England. Assistant VAR Andy Halliday. Yeah, 5 changes to the Brighton game, so Pep didn't go too mad, didn't he? But I think looking at that team, I think it was 9 of the 11. I think, do you agree with me, of what's the Champions League starting lineup is? But we'll have more of that later anyway. Edison, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, Fernandinho, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Foden. So there you go. There's my 9 starters for the Champions League final, in my opinion. Plus we had Sterling and Jesus obviously added to that. Sub Stefan, Aki, Gundogan, Aguero, Laporte, Rodrigo, Bernardo, Torres and Mendy. Yeah, I got 7 right, but as I said, it was very hard to gauge what he was going to do, and I did assume that most of his Champions League final team would get on at some stage, and as far as yesterday was concerned, I think there's only a couple of them didn't get on, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Anyway, but that's my 11, that's not Pep's 11, is it? So there you go. Pre-match social media talk, yeah, JSGC, I said he was happy with the team, yeah, I think most people were. It will be a similar team, bar 2 or 3 against Chelsea in 6 days in a huge game. Absolutely agree with you there, mate. Get the sharpness up and go from there. With Aguero, we'll see how many minutes he will get. Well, you know, I suspect he isn't fully fit and makes the bench today to have his farewell. It was some farewell though, wasn't it? So the match summation, here we go, and we'll cross over to Phil for the goal comments. First 45 minutes, 4 minutes, yeah, I mean, Everton started pretty well, didn't they? Had the first effort after about 4 minutes was straight at Edison, fortunately. 5 minutes, Calvert-Lewin works Edison again after a quick break. And this was caused after KDB lost it on the halfway line. He did improve, fortunately. 6 minutes, 6 minutes finally. Yeah, Pickford makes a save from Jesus. Foden was free, but Jesus is a striker, isn't he? So he went for goal, and perhaps he should have squared it for Foden, but he didn't. His instinct was to go for goal. So an okay save by Pickford anyway. 8 minutes, Stones, well over with a header from a great Mahrez free kick. And 11 minutes, here we go, over to Phil Banerjee. De Bruyne scored a goal of great beauty to give City the lead in the 11th minute. Mahrez played a 1-2 with Foden. I think he sort of played about 3 1-2s, didn't he? From what I remember, going across the pitch. Drove a hard pass at De Bruyne control before hitting a terrific low shot that curled inside the right-hand post. Absolutely clinical, fantastic. You could just see it, couldn't you? Pickford couldn't do anything about that. So it was 1-0. 3 minutes later, 14 minutes, it was 2-0. 3 minutes later, when Gabriel Jesus scored his 50th Premier League goal. Fantastic. Everton were trying to play from the back with short passes, but didn't reckon on City's excellent pressing. Well, they should do by now, shouldn't they, really? Tackling Fernandinho won the ball in midfield. He had a great game yesterday. And fed Jesus down the inside left. Jesus ran at Godfrey. He had lots to do, didn't he? Cut inside and steered a curling low shot inside the right-hand post. Is Pickford not very good on his left-hand side? I'm not too sure. He seems to be getting beaten left, right and centre, but they were good goals. It was Jesus' 50th Premier League goal. You've already said that. Phil. Come on, don't repeat yourself. There you go, 2-0. 23 minutes, a KDB free kick eventually gets back to him, and he blasts it goalwards, but again, Pickford makes a good save. I don't think we saw a replay of that, but it did look a good save. Anyway, 33 minutes, Everton get a corner from a good chance that's deflected. And then on 35 minutes, Richarlison leaves Diaz for dead, doesn't he? After a poor pass from Zinchenko. I think his pass turned into a pass for Everton, didn't it? From what I think. But I thought Diaz had a bit of a start on Richarlison, but he left him quite easily, didn't he? And then he obviously fouls him in the box. Ederson's sort of a bit hesitant for Ederson. He didn't quite know what to do. Wasn't really going to get there, but fortunately we got away with just a yellow for Diaz, didn't we, in the penalty box. Obviously he gave a penalty. Everton players attempting to get a fellow professional red card, but then again, that's probably par for the course, I suppose. But we got away a little bit with that one. I think if Oliver had sent him off, his VAR certainly wouldn't have reviewed it and rescinded it. So thankfully Oliver didn't send him off, so that was good. But he could well have done, couldn't he? It was a goal scoring opportunity at the end of the day. I mean, he's only Ederson to beat, and Ederson looks as though he's going to get beat as well, wasn't he? So very unusual. But there you go. We got away with that a little bit. And of course, Ederson saves the penalty. There's lots of players encroaching, I noticed. Not just, Walker got the blame for it, but he deflected an incoming Richarlison shot from the rebound, didn't he? But because his leg was in the air, we got away with that one again. When I saw the freeze frame, I don't think he'd actually hit the ball from the penalty spot when it was showing his leg in the air. So hey, perhaps the VAR gods were good on us, but hopefully we don't run out of that before next week. 42 minutes, another claims for an Everton penalty as they get through again, but none given as Stones does some last ditch defending. 43 minutes, Sterling feeds Mahrez, who rattles the bar. A fantastic shot, wasn't it? I mean, Pickford was nowhere, was he? 22 yards. He was just stood stand there, didn't he? Just stood standing. Couldn't do anything about that one. 47 minutes, so a good chance. Almost for Mahrez, a great shot. 47 minutes, Sterling was through, but appeared to bottle it, didn't he? I thought he had the beating of Pickford, but he seemed to sort of bottle out of it a little bit. I could use a swear word there, but Sterling looks as though he could have gotten to that first, but he didn't fancy it, I don't think. It's a great shame. Half-time 2-0, what I said at half-time. Good half, fairly open, and City looked vulnerable at the back, I think we did, but sharp up front, I think we did, and in midfield we were as well. Far from over yet, but a third will settle it, I said. One for Everton, and it's game on. So it's standard fare, that, isn't it? 52 minutes, Jesus sets up Foden, whose shot deflected wide. 53 minutes, it was, I've not spoken much of Foden. He was involved that first half. I've not mentioned him that much, have I? 53 minutes, it was 3-0, in the 53rd minute, here we go, back to Phil. Fernandinho won the ball from Decour in midfield. Jesus took the ball on and found Sterling, who set up Foden to score with his supposed weaker right foot and steered it inside the left-hand post. There's a lot going in the left-hand post, wasn't there, for City yesterday, or just inside the post. Poor Pickford didn't know what he was doing, did he? 56 minutes, Rodri was on and Foden off, just to rest him for next week. 58 minutes, Rodri's blasting Rodri's rocket over the bar, wasn't it, after being released by KDB? He could have done a little bit better. KDB released Sterling, who passed to Rodri, who blasted it over. 65 minutes, Aguero on Foden, haircut Mahrez off. Aguero, I wrote that here. Aguero, yeah, just to say Aguero's haircut, nice little fringe like Mr. Foden. Mahrez went off to rest him for next week. 66 minutes, yeah, Richarlison got through, didn't he? But he sort of just failed to control it properly, and Ederson sort of dived and collected it. That was he was quite good on his feet there, Ederson, to come out to that one. 68 minutes, a good chance for Jesus, but it was over the bar again. And 71 minutes, over to Phil, and we got the legend here, haven't we? 4-0. Fernandinho won the ball, didn't it? Fantastic again outside the Everton box. And Fed Aguero, who twisted and turned left and right and back to the left again, throwing Holgate off balance before steering the ball inside the left-hand post. A terrific example of skill from our greatest striker, yeah, sort of outside of his foot, wasn't it? Who celebrated with thoroughly delighted teammates who clearly love him. Of course they do. We all love him. Even Ederson sprinted up the pitch to be part of the huddle. Yeah, I mean, I think he probably injured a couple when he dived on top, to be honest. But like, there you go. 74 minutes, Torres was on, Jesus off, and then 76 minutes, back to Phil again. Yeah, it was 5-0, and momentously so in the 76th minute when Sergio Aguero bagged his second goal of the match, his 184th Premier League goal, which is an all-time record for a single club. I'm not doing stats yet, Phil. Leave it to me for later. Single club in Premier League history. Fernandinho played a superb long cross from the right, and Sergio ran between two defenders to head the ball inside the right-hand post. It was also the 260th of his career. Pack it in, Phil. I'll do them later, the stats. I don't know. 84 minutes, Aguero, again, so close with the header, wasn't he? Good save by Pickford this time. I think it might have just hit the post and gone in, or hit the post and gone out. 85 minutes, Furno was well over with an attempt. Just 2 minutes injury time. I don't think the ref wanted any more pain for Everton. 91 minutes, Sterling. Yeah, great KDB through ball. Sterling straight at Pickford, and we'll talk about Sterling after, but... yeah, no change there, was there? So full time, Aguero made it, of course, a great second half just by coming on, never mind scoring 2 goals. And Everton, once about the first 10 minutes, they looked okay, but after that, they just never really got going that second half. They went a bit of a pale imitation. Ref watch, yeah, I thought Oliver did okay. As I said, he could have easily sent Diaz off, so I'm not going to be a downer on him yesterday. I thought it was okay. Quite an easy game to ref, I think, yesterday. A couple of incidents, obviously, and with Everton, etc., surrounding him and stuff. But no, I think he did very well at yesterday, so... I don't mark him anymore, but I've nothing bad to say. And VAR didn't get up to too much, did it? So let's hope it carries on like that for next week. Match stats: shots 21 for City, 11 for Everton, 8 on target for City, 3 for Everton. Possession 69% for City, passes 722 for City, 326 for Everton. Pass completion good for City, 91%. That didn't surprise me. 78% for Everton. Corners 7 for City, 5 for Everton. Fouls 8 by City and 10 by Everton. Right, there we go. On to the player ratings. Yeah, as I said, Stuart Brennan's in charge this week with the ratings. I'll give you his description and his score, and then I'll give you my score and my thoughts. My starting score, yes, it has to be a 7, doesn't it? So if they played a good standard solid game, they'll get a 7. If they played better, they'll get more. If they didn't quite play up to scratch, they'll get less. But I might have been kind today. I'm not too sure. I might have been a bit kind with this one. Ederson, there we go. Started with a fine stop from Calvert-Lewin, but the penalty save was a big moment, especially ahead of next week's final. So he's given him an 8. I can't disagree with that. One of his better performances, I think, Ederson. I'll give him an 8 as well. Perhaps could he have done better with that penalty thing? Could he have stayed back a little bit? I'm not too sure, but we're being churlish there, aren't we? So I'll give him an 8. A good game from Ederson. Kyle Walker, quick to snuff out any danger down his side, and was constant relief pass from Mahrez and De Bruyne. He's given him a 7, Stuart. I mean, I thought he was excellent. I'll give him an 8. I thought Kyle did a good job yesterday. Certainly, say after not his greatest game the last match, I think he played really well, so I give him an 8. Miserable Stuart only give him a 7. John Stones, Rolls Royce feeding against his former club, always turning up at the right moment to ease away with the ball. He's given him an 8. Yeah, I'll give him an 8.5. I think Stuart's been a bit mean today. I'll give him an 8.5. I thought it was outstanding, John Stones, yesterday. Diaz slow to react to Zinchenko's pass, and that forced him into the rash challenge for the penalty. Yeah, he was just slow getting back in general, wasn't he? So he's given him a 6, Stuart. I've given him a 7, as I said. I'm not going to do a down on anyone today, so I'll give him a minimum at 7, but he wasn't at his best. You know, I mean, could Laporte sneak in next week because of that? Probably not, but yeah, he wasn't at his best. Zinchenko's sloppy moment led to the penalty, but he was also a slick attacker. So he's given a 6 again, Zinchenko. I've got to give him a 7. The odd mistake, but no one's sort of better in that position, I don't think, at the moment. So I've got to give him a 7, I think, Zinchenko. Werner, anticipation solidly in the tackle led to a second goal, made a strong case to be in the team next week. I think he's guaranteed in the team, to be honest with you. Never mind a strong case. It's given him an 8. I've given him an 8.5. I thought he was superb, and I thought he sealed his ECL Champions League spot for next week. I don't think Rodri will get in there in front of Werner, to be honest with you. KDB, quite brilliant first half, scoring a fine goal, then assisting Jesus for the second, as well as dissecting the Everton defence with gorgeous passes. Give him a 9. Yeah, I'll give Kevin a 9 as well. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, possibly one of his best displays of the season. I mean, I thought he was physical as well. He was willing to get in there, which was a good sign, wasn't it? Ahead, we wanted him to be fit, and he just proved he was fit, and he didn't shy out of anything with that big game 6 days away. Fantastic by Kev, so I've given him a 9 as well. Phil gave Everton problems every time he got near the ball, and his goal was another sign of his growing deadliness. Yeah, it's given him a 9. Yeah, I mean, I'll give him an 8.5. Great contribution, great goal. As I said, he was perhaps the first half not as busy as the second half, but yeah, fantastic performance. Again, shoe-in, isn't he, for next week? Riyad Mahrez, if you're talking shoe-ins for next week, stunning at times in the first half. His confidence is fantastic, isn't it? Sublime control, sharp passing, and hit the bar with a wicked left footer. He's given him an 8. I've got to give him an 8 as well. Great game, lively, good game. He disappeared occasionally, but no qualms about Mahrez starting next week. Jesus, his best game for some time, I'd have to agree. Highlighted by a well-taken goal and a sharp part in Foden's strike. He's given him an 8. I'd give Jesus an 8.5. I mean, he was probably not in Pep's thinking for next week, but that was a great display by Jesus. I was quite impressed. Well, we have to take into account all these. You have to take into account Everton sort of faded out a little bit and did leave us a lot of space on the pitch. So yeah, we have to take that into account. But you only can beat what's in front of you, can't you, as the saying goes. So yeah, I'll give him an 8.5, Jesus. I thought it was one of his best games again like yesterday. What a time to start hitting your form, and some of these guys look as though they are. And then we get on to Raheem Sterling. Need a little assist for Foden, yeah, and he looks sharper than he has for some time without lighting the place up. So let's give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 as well. It was better setting things up. We'll have a talk about him just at the end before we go anyway, but I'll talk on that in a minute. Just stay with me for later on about Raheem. I've got a plan for Raheem. I don't think he'll be starting the Champions League final, but I've got a plan if we do use him. Rodri, for Foden on 56, a nice cameo. Did he do anything? I don't know. Anyway, I'll give him a 7. Stuart's given him a 7. Aguero, well, what can you say? I think he's got a lot of people's man of the match, hasn't he? What an impact, what a player. I mean, yeah, 10 out of 10 Stuart's given him. And I'll give him 10 out of 10 as well. I mean, I don't care. I know I always say there's only ever one thing that deserved 10 out of 10. That was a 93-20 Sergio Aguero goal, even though he said himself he had a SHIT game, didn't he, that game? But yeah, that's the only other thing in my life that's been worth a 10, but that's worth another 10. So the only guy to ever get 2 10 out of 10 marks from me, film and football-wise, is Mr. Aguero. So there you go, a 10 for yesterday. Just as a matter of interest, Phil Banerjee's player ratings: Edison 8, Walker 9, Stones 9, Diaz 9, Zinchenko 6. Bit mean. De Bruyne 9, Fernandinho 9, Foden 8, Rodri a 7, Mahrez a 7, Aguero 9. Phil, come on, 10. He's got to be a 10. Phil, I'm shocked. Jesus 8, and Sterling 7. That's fair enough. There you go. City's man of the match. Well, I've already hinted at that. I think it's most people's yesterday. But even if it wasn't the situation, to score 2 goals in the amount of time he was on the pitch and almost score 3 or 4 was absolutely fantastic. Although I must admit, Everton did help slightly, didn't they? So overall, stat-wise now, we played Everton at home 88 times. We won 48, drawn 21, lost 19, 154 goals for and 84 against. Quirky stats, yeah, just one on the commentating team, which I thought was quite quite a clever one. Everton have never come back to win a game from 2-0 at half-time in 70 attempts. There you go, that's quite a stat, isn't it? So in 70 games they've been 2-0 behind at half-time. They've never actually come back and won a game. So they told us that at the start of the second half, and I hate that sort of thing, but I can share that with you now that we went on to win it. Opta Joe, Jesus has scored 8 Premier League goals against Everton, more than he has versus any other opponent in the competition. Phil Foden has played a direct hand in 26 goals for City in all competitions, 16 goals and 10 assists, the second most of any City player after KDB with 28. Aguero scored 184 Premier League. I told you, Phil. I told you I'd just do it. 184 Premier League goals for City, breaking the competition record for most goals scored for a single club. Aguero has scored 2 goals as a substitute for Manchester City for only the second time, the first being his club debut against Swansea in August 2011. Yeah, I'd re-released my vlog yesterday on that. Check it out. I had a little feature on that, little moments in time. So I was at that one. I wasn't at the one yesterday, unfortunately, but there you go. Ancelotti has suffered his heaviest defeat of his managerial career in what was his 1,167th game in management. There you go. So 5-0 for City. Ancelotti won't like us, will he? He won't like his team, probably. Stat City today is the first time that Man City have ever played a competitive fixture on the 23rd of May. Oh, 23rd of May, my mum died a long time ago, but that was her birthday, 23rd of May. So happy birthday, mum, anyway. But there you go. City have never played a fixture ever, apart from yesterday on that date. So wonderful. Happy birthday, mum. Tear to my eye now. Think about Sergio, my mum. It's not good enough. City have now had 7 players reach double figures this season for goals. The club has never had more in a single season, so also 7 in 2018-19. Jesus has now scored 50 goals in the Premier League for City, becoming the 7th player to reach that tally for the club. Well done, Gabby. Good game yesterday, mate. Since his Premier League debut for City in September 2015, Kevin De Bruyne has scored 18 goals from outside the box, with only Harry Kane with 19 netting more in the competition in this period. Phil Foden has now scored 31 goals for City, at the same amount that Darren Huckabee netted for the club. I've not seen Darren for ages. Wonder what he's up to. This is the 35th time that Man City have scored at least 5 goals in a single game under Pep Guardiola. That's a rate better than once every 10 games. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, conclusions. Yeah, it was a good game, wasn't it? A good game in preparation for the big one. I think that one. Seems to be loads of space on the pitch, seemingly for players to work in. So that first half, I think both attacks looked quite dangerous at times. I think Everton never really got going in that second half, so it's quite a nice second half to sort of play, wasn't it? All credit to them. I think it was a fairly clean game, and there was a couple of rash tackles from Everton, but overall, when you think about that Brighton game and the physicality of that, all credit to Everton that they tried to play a bit of football. Although obviously they perhaps couldn't match us in midfield, obviously, but they did try and play a little bit of football. So all credit to Everton anyway. I mean, I think they finished. What did they finish in the league? 10th. So yeah, they'll be disappointed in that, and no European football next season. But I think Ancelotti's got something to build on there, hasn't he? As for City, yeah, worries yesterday. Diaz. Possibly not at his best yesterday, was he? Let's be honest about it. I think Stones was sort of far and above the best, but he's done that, Diaz, the last half of the season. He's had fantastic games, and he's had games where he's not quite looked top notch, but I'm sure he'll be fine for next week. And as I say, I don't think Laporte is going to sneak in. I think obviously Diaz and Stones is set in stone, isn't it? Let's be honest about it. Sterling, I did say I wanted to mention, didn't I? Bits he did yesterday were okay. The thing with Sterling, it's a bit like, is it Werner for Chelsea? Werner's that sort of player that stick him out on the wing is useless in front of goal. He hardly ever scores. He does score, but he hardly ever scores. In the same way that Sterling's having that sort of patch at the moment. But stick him out of the wing, he can cause problems with his pace and what he's doing. I think Sterling's the same. I think as long as we don't get him in situations where he's got a shot on goal. I mean, he must have had at least 2 or 3 yesterday where he either lost it and it was saved, or he just hit it straight at Pickford. But just keep him somewhere where he can cause a bit of problem if need be. I don't think he'll start next week anyway, so but he's an option, isn't he, like anything. I just think Sterling's better a million miles from goal, if you understand what I mean. I think he's better setting things up if he can. He did an assist yesterday, didn't he, think for one of the goals. I think that's the way to play him at the moment. Don't put the pressure on him to score a goal, because he's not, but I don't think in a million years he's going to get anywhere near the starting team next week. And if he actually comes on in that Champions League final, that means we're either strolling it or we're in trouble. So yeah, as I said, I think Sterling was okay, but as I say, his total lack of confidence in front of goal. I was a bit worried that Gundogan didn't come on. I thought everyone would get a game, and Bernardo as well. I'm sure Bernardo's okay, but he totally rested Bernardo, and I'm fairly sure Bernardo and Gundogan are the two players that will be added to the other 9 yesterday, instead of Jesus and Sterling that started the game. So yeah, I was a bit surprised he didn't get on for 20 minutes or so, to be honest with you, but hopefully Gundogan's all right. And I think Bernardo certainly, it was only Gundogan with a bit of a question mark, wasn't it, with fitness. It was Bernardo was fine, so I think he was just basically rested, but I was a little bit surprised he didn't get on for 10 or 20 minutes or something like that. The players who perhaps needed to impress Pep, we talked about Sterling. Torres won't be featuring, will he? He won't be starting. He's lost he lost the chance when we went down to 10 men, didn't he, in the other game against Brighton. So I don't think Torres will feature at all. I can't see it happening. But Aguero and Jesus have certainly give Pep room to think, haven't they? I think they were excellent. I mean, let's face it, I don't think Aguero will start in the Champions League final in a month for Sundays, but is a worry for someone like Chelsea, isn't he, at some stage, bringing him on. But again, with Aguero, if Aguero turns out and comes on next week, we're either comfortable or we're in trouble. So this is the only two options, because I don't think, and the same with Jesus. I thought Jesus was excellent yesterday, and now anyone wants to swap and sell Jesus, I don't know, because he's got still got so much he can offer City, Jesus, and I'm quite happy to say yesterday I thought it was excellent. But as I said, of those players, I think Aguero, they give Pep something to think about, but I think Pep knows his starting team. I think most of us know our starting team. If it's not those 9 without Jesus and Sterling yesterday, and you add Bernardo and Gundogan to that, I'll be very surprised if that's not the starting 11. I just can't see anything past that, and I think most people probably agree with that. But yeah, it's nice to have Aguero and Jesus firing, isn't it? At least as an option, if you like. So there you go. Thanks for joining me anyway. I'll be back, of course, with a preview of the big game. We'll talk a bit more about it then, and let's hope they get through this training, no problems. And I do have a special History Boys feature covering the 70-71 season, where us and Chelsea actually met 5 times that season. So a little special. Please enjoy that. I enjoyed putting that one together. Have a watch at that. That'll be out this week, obviously, well before the Champions League final. Obviously, in those 5 meetings, we actually included 2 European Winners' Cup semi-finals as well. So a little bit about that, and a little bit of my memories as well, because I was around and about at the time. I was only 10. I was only a little lad, but I do remember certain things about that. So please keep your eye out for that. Sergio Aguero, well, what can we say? Legend. I was there for his debut. Get a bit emotional again now. I was there for his debut. Sadly, I wasn't there yesterday. I would love to have been there yesterday. Obviously, I got a chance to see him at Wembley recently, so it's not a total disaster this season. At least I've seen him, obviously, there on the pitch at Wembley when we beat Tottenham. But what a guy. What a fantastic guy. I think most City fans think that. And just look how Pep reacted, for instance, yesterday. So that was fantastic. So I'm not ashamed of saying goodbye to a player like Sergio. Absolute legend. It's such a shame, obviously. Hope he does well. Obviously, say it looks as though he's going to Barcelona, doesn't it? Which is fair enough. Good for the somewhere warmer for him anyway. He's suffered our climate for 10 years, hasn't he? So, and I'm sure he may even go back. He did say he would go back and play in Argentina, didn't he? But please check out that little vlog as well. I did say I've seeked that out. I did sort of retweet it yesterday and shared it that I did on his debut game against Swansea, as I say, which he came on as a sub and scored a couple of goals as well. So there's a nice symmetry in that, isn't there? So thank you, Sergio. Anyway, thanks for everything. Looks as though we'll still have 30 next year, so that'll be all right. We don't have to get too upset about that guy as well. And on to the big one. Anyway, join me for that. As I say, I'll do a preview of that. And thank you, Sergio. And there's still time for him to finish with more glory, isn't there? Let's hope so. Let's hope so. But we'll talk about that when we look at the upcoming Champions League game, of course. But thanks for joining me today and putting up with my emotions as we drew on to a close of this. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Let me know. Let me know in the comments anyway. Thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More important, let's all look after each other. So we'll meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my film and TV channel. I don't get quite as emotional on that as I do on some of these city vlogs sometimes, but there you go. Please, until I see you all again, all I ever ask you to do is stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.